For decades, we've been told the same thing. Don't work harder, work smarter. It sounded like progress. It felt more evolved than just grinding yourself into the ground. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That thinking is already outdated. Because most high performers that I work with are already working smarter. They have systems, they have leverage, they have experience, they know what matters and they know what doesn't. And yet, everything still feels harder. That's not a strategy problem, that's an ease problem. So let's get clear about something. Work smarter was a necessary evolution from that idea of brute force effort. But it still assumes one thing, that work has to feel hard, just more efficient hard. Fewer hours, better tools, cleaner processes. All good things, but none of them address the internal experience of effort. And that's where the real bottleneck lives now. Here's the shift that hasn't fully entered the conversation yet. The next level of performance isn't about effort optimization. It's about energetic efficiency. Not how much you do, not how smart your systems are, but how much resistance your nervous system is carrying while you're doing it. Two people can run the exact same business, use the same strategy, work the same hours. One feels steady, clear, and grounded. The other feels pressured and tight and constantly on. Same actions, different internal cost. This is why work smarter eventually stops working, because smarter thinking still requires mental effort. And mental effort under pressure doesn't create ease, it creates refinement of stress. You're not pushing as hard, but you're still carrying that sense of urgency. You're not working longer, but your system never quite fully powers down and rests. And that's why people say things like, I love what I do, but it feels harder than it should. Or I'm successful, but why is it so hard now? It wasn't always like that. Or I don't know why I'm tired. I'm not overworked, but I just feel fatigued. And they're right. They're not overloaded, not overworked. High performers are especially vulnerable to this because you've trained yourself to override friction. You know how to push through. You know how to stay disciplined. You know how to execute even when you don't feel like it. And you love that you know that. You feel powerful that you know that. And that all works until it doesn't. Eventually, effort stops scaling. Not because you've lost motivation, but because your nervous system has been running on constant output mode for too long. And no amount of smarter strategy will ever fix that. Working with ease does not mean doing nothing. It's not being passive. It's not lowering your standards or just sitting and waiting for inspiration. Ease is not laziness. Ease is absence of internal resistance. It's when action flows without friction, when decisions don't drain you, when execution doesn't require self-coercion and accountability. You still work, you still lead, you still perform, but you're no longer fighting yourself internally while doing it. This is why the future of performance is not mindset. It's emotional and nervous system regulation. When emotional load is released, focus sharpens, urgency drops, clarity returns, and effort just feels lighter. Not because your work changed, but because the internal drag was removed. Ease isn't something you think your way into. It's something that shows up naturally after the stress and pressure underneath all of that is cleared out. So yes, working smarter was an upgrade, but it's no longer enough. The real question now is, how much of your effort is actually work? And how much is internal resistance masquerading as productivity? When you stop optimizing effort and start releasing pressure, work doesn't just get easier, it gets cleaner, quicker, faster, more precise. That's not the future of performance. That's what's available now if you stop using outdated rules.